Imagine a world where everything you do is enough and you get enough sleep and you don't think about all the things that drags you down. Imagine a world where you feel content, where you can be free. I have been burnt out due to my C-PTSD, also known as complex post-traumatic stress disorder, for a while now. Nothing could bring me peace. Nothing. I got exhausted for the smallest of things, and even doing the most basic stuff kept feeling like they were taking a lot of time. So I needed to reach the root of the problem, realizing that I needed to take it a little bit slower. Being in nature, practice my spirituality and being creative, do things that makes me happy, that takes a comfortable amount of energy. I haven't talked a lot about C-PTSD on the channel, but I will in this video. C-PTSD is short for complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which is a form of PTSD, but when the trauma has become more complex and has been going on for a while. The symptoms I have noticed after my trauma are intrusive thoughts and flashbacks, and also that everything takes more time than before. I am slower and I have a hard time focusing, and I procrastinate a lot because when things are so when I am so slow in everything I do, that makes it more difficult to do things. So I procrastinate doing things that I usually like doing. But yeah, I also have insomnia and a lot of nightmares. I also sometimes find myself in wrong relationships, in bad relationships, toxic relationships, and that my safety isn't a priority any longer because I am so done with everything. So depression and yeah, self-harming thoughts and stuff like that. I also feel much angrier than before. I have a lot of anger inside of me, and sometimes I have a hard time managing my feelings. I have mostly coped by practicing my faith, but also learning languages and studying and just self-studying. Whatever I can do to keep myself busy and to not think so much. Because when the flashback comes, it's always when I'm in a quiet space and when I'm not doing anything in particular. I also do a lot of art to express myself and to express my feelings around the trauma and stuff like that.
Right now, I am at my mother's house and I do a lot of work to heal, and it's good to not be alone when you have PTSD and C-PTSD, and to take the help from family and not sit in your own thoughts and in your own company all the time. So I'm at my mother's house right now, and while she not always get me, she's trying her best, and I'm educating her, and we do the best we can with the situation. I have picked up a few books to work with. For example, this one, the Complex PTSD Workbook, a mind and body approach to regaining emotional control and becoming whole, by Ariel Schwartz, PhD. I have heard by others that this book is kind of basic for people that has lived with CPTSD for a while, but since I'm in the beginning of my journey, I need these basics and the foundation because I don't have that much knowledge about CPTSD and the difference between CPTSD and PTSD, and what it does with the brain and the body, and how trauma affects a person. I need that foundation, that foundational knowledge, and it's also a very gentle book that speaks in a kind way, not triggering. I'm a little bit disappointed that it talks about gaining weight and like fat shaming in a way, but it's not the entire world. It's not the end of the world if the author talk about weight and gaining weight in a non-stigmatizing way, and I still think this book's benefits, even though it has some some people have criticized it for being a little bit fat shamey, but I think it's kind of worth what it is anyway. And I also have this book, a little tiny book that is titled "Write to Restore: A Step-by-Step Creative Writing Journal for Survivors of Sexual Trauma" by Jen Cross. I haven't done a big amount of writing in it, but I like the prompts. They are very soothing and non-triggering, and I like it so far, even though I'm just on page 32. I also have these two bigger workbooks, one about DBT that are more self-directed, and one about traumatic stress recovery workbook with techniques from, both books are from the same publisher. It's from New Harbinger Publications, and I'm a book girl. I like learning by reading and working through things with workbooks, and learning through workbooks. So I think it's very helpful with these books.
So yeah, I'm reading a lot about trauma to become an expert or good enough, at least for me, about what trauma really is, to cope and survive and to know how to deal with it. And I do so by, for example, reading these books that I talked about previously. And I the more I learn, the more I can cope and realize that I am stronger than I previously thought and that things will become better. It's just a matter of learning how to do so. I also let myself rest when I need to because nothing gets better when you are stressed. Like this is a stress disorder, so you have to slow down. Here I'm drawing comics. I have several webcomics that are quite funny and I liked working on them. It makes me feel good and it makes me laugh at times because even though I have a hard time, I am quite a humorous person and it really reflects that in my comics, I think. I think using humor when you're not feeling well is an excellent idea and it can make you feel better just to smile and laugh because I've heard that even if it's hard to smile when you not feel good, the brain doesn't know if you're actually happy or if you're faking it, if you're smiling. The brain doesn't know the difference between a fake smile and a real smile. So at times when it's not too hard, I just smiling because it's funny. Also, here on the screen is one of my comic websites. I link them in the description and you can see it on the screen as well. I actually started to draw comics when I was around 17 or 18 when I was at a care home. I was, it was before I moved to my own apartment because I was legally an adult at that point. So, yeah. As you can see on the footage here, we have, my mom, have decorated a beautiful home for Christmas, and that's what I'm doing right now. I am at my mom's house for over the holidays, and it's going to be relaxing to just be here. And I started a blog. You can see it here on the screen. It's also a link in the description and on the screen. I'm going to blog a lot more than I do YouTube, but I will still continue doing YouTube, of course. But I think blogging is something I can do more regularly. And I have written down my goals and visions for 2025. It's mostly aims, what I aim to do, more than hard and set rules or goals. I also made a study plan, but it's kind of soft productivity. I also made this planner from onplanners.com, this website here, and it I'm going to plan more digitally, but also in my traditional planner. And now I'm going to enjoy the holidays and being with family, taking care of myself. Just be. And I see you next year because I won't publish anything until next year. I will take a little break in between now. But I'll see you then. Bye.